Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video tutorial, I am going to show you how to set up a custom post type in Elementor Pro. So depending on your website, you may want a custom post type for your products, for your services, for events, testimonials, or maybe team members for your company. So I'm going to show you how to get that set up in today's tutorial. So if we go over to the PayPal website as an example, you can see PayPal lists all of their executive leaders right here. And if we click on any one of their leaders, it'll take you right to the individual page for that leader. So I'm going to show you how to make something like this in Elementor Pro. First thing we need to do is go over to the WordPress dashboard. And there are two plugins that we need to install. Now I've already installed them. The first one is Custom Post Type and the other one is called Advanced Custom Fields. So if you go over to Plugins and Add Plugin, you can do a search for Custom Post Type. And the one you want is the one that says Custom Post Type UI. I've already installed and activated, so all you need to do is click Install and then Activate. Once you've done that, do another search for ACF. And you'll see Advanced Custom Fields, install and activate that one as well. And then once you've done that, you should see Custom Post Type UI and ACF right here in your left navigation panel. So the first one that we're going to go to is CPT UI, so just go ahead and click on that. And this is where we can create our custom post type, and we need to give our custom post type a slug. So we'll just say team members for the slug. For the plural label, we can say team members. And for the singular label, we can say team member. And then if we scroll down, we want to look for has archive. And it's right here. We want to set that to true. And then scroll back up and click add post type. Now for each of our team members that we create, we need to put in some information about each team member. Now I've already done some preparation before creating this video, so we need to create some custom fields like the job title or the role of that team member, maybe a famous quote that they say, their LinkedIn profile page, and an image of their signature. And then I've also prepared a list of some team members. This is just some fake names that I've put together with some bio content, their roles, their quotes, their LinkedIn URL. This will be the content for our team members. All right, so let's head back to the WordPress dashboard. Now we'll go ahead and click on ACF for Advanced Custom Fields. At the very top where it says Field Groups, we'll click Add New. And we'll give our field group a name. We'll say Team Members. And then if we scroll down, this is where we can create all of our custom fields. So the first one that we need to create is our job role, or the job role for that team member. So we'll say job role, or we can just say role. And then we'll leave it as a text field. And then we'll come down here and we'll click add field. We'll make another one, and this one will be the quote. For the quote, we'll choose a text area, and we'll say quote for the field label. And then we'll click add field. Next one we want will be the LinkedIn profile, which will be a LinkedIn, or which will be a URL field. So we'll change the field type to URL, and we'll put LinkedIn URL, and then we'll click add field again. And then for the next field, we want to put an image of their signature. So we'll want this next field type to be an image, and we'll say signature. And for the return format, we'll put image URL. All right, so once you've done that, scroll down a little bit more. You'll see show this field group if post type is equal to. We want to change it from post, and we want to select our custom post type, which is team member. Okay, once you've done that, click save changes. All right, now you can see all of our fields are created right here. So next thing we need to do is add all of our content. So I have all of our content right here. So what we'll do is we'll click here on team members, and we'll click add new team member. Now for the first one, we're going to add Michael Carter. So I'll just copy his name, and I'll right click and I'll say paste as plain text. And then right below it, this is where we can put all of his bio information. So we'll copy his bio, copy that, and right click and paste as plain text. And then for role, we want to put his role. So Michael is the Chief Executive Officer, so we'll copy his role and then we'll right click and paste this plain text. And then we want to put his quote right here. So we'll go back to our Word document, we'll copy the quote, and we'll right click and paste this plain text. And then for LinkedIn URL, we want to put his URL in there. So we'll copy that and right click and paste this plain text. All right, so next we want to just upload Michael's signature. So we'll click add image, and from the media library, I'll click on the signature for Michael. And last thing we're going to do is come up here, click on team member, and we want to pick a featured image, and we want to pick Michael's picture. So we got his picture there, and we'll set it as the featured image. And then we'll click publish, and then publish again. Now what I'm going to do is pause this video, and I'm going to add some more team members, and then I'll be back once I've done that. Okay, so I am back, and I've added 3 team members in total. I do have a lot more listed, but I think 3 is more than enough for this tutorial. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our individual card for each of our team members. So if we go back to the PayPal website, you can see each team member has its own individual card. So we're going to create this template right now in Elementor. So from the WordPress dashboard, we'll go to Elementor and then go to Theme Builder. And then we'll click here on Loop Item and then click Add New. And then on this library that pops up, we'll just X this out because we're going to create our own loop from scratch. So what we'll do here is we'll take the featured image widget and we'll drag that into our page. And as you can see, Elementor is pulling in an image from one of my other posts. So if we come up to the top here where it says loop item settings, we can click this icon, come down to preview settings, and then where it says preview a specific post or item, change it from post to team member. And then in this box here, we can do a search for one of our team members like Mehul, and then click apply and preview. And there we have his image. And then I'll just shrink this down just a little bit and maybe just make it a little bigger. Let's see. There we go. And then we'll come up to the plus sign and we'll take the post title and drop that in below his image. And we'll just turn his size down a little bit for the name. We'll say maybe 20 pixels actually is good. And then we'll come up to the plus sign again, and we'll take a heading and drop that in below his name. Change the HTML tag to paragraph. And we'll come up here where it says title and click on this dynamic tags icon. Scroll all the way down, click on ACF field, click onto ACF, and then for the key, we'll choose role. And then you can see his role right there. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing design on this video. I will make minimal design changes because this video is really focused on the technical side of things, but I will do some very minor adjustments here just to make it look kind of good for right now. So we'll put a background color on here. So we'll use like maybe a light gray, and then we'll put a border as well. And we'll use a slightly darker color for the border. Maybe we'll turn the background color down just a little bit more. All right, I think that looks good for right now, so we'll leave it like that, and then we'll click publish. Oh, one thing that I just forgot. We need to make the image and the name, we need to make them clickable. So when a user clicks on the image or the heading, it will automatically link to the individual post page, which we're going to create later. So right now we'll click on his image, and then where it says link, we're going to choose custom URL. And then on this little icon here where it says dynamic tags, click on that and we'll say post URL. So whenever the image is clicked, it'll take the user right to the individual post page. Same thing with his title of his name. Click on his name, go to the content tab where it says link, click dynamic tags and choose post URL. So now whenever the name is clicked, it'll take the user right to the post URL, and then click publish. And then actually we can maybe even move up this name and the title, make them a little closer. So we can just go to the layout and just change the gap to 10. I think that looks good for now. And we'll publish. All right, so we have our loop card created, which will be something like this. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our archive page. So we'll come up to the 3 lines here, go to Theme Builder. All right, now before we actually create the archive page, let's go ahead and click on loop item. And this is the loop item that we just made right here. So we'll click on these 3 little dots and we'll say rename, and we'll call this team member loop, and we'll click change. So now we know the name of our loop right here. So now we'll go ahead and click on archive, and then at the upper right we'll click on add new, and then Elementor will bring up this library of templates. We'll just go ahead and X this out. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and create the archive page. So we'll take an archive title and we'll drag that onto our page. And then we'll come up to the plus sign and we'll do a search for the loop grid, and this is the one we want here. So we'll drag that right below the title, and then it's going to say create a template, but we've already created the template. So we can come over here where it says choose a template, and we can type in the name of our template, which is team member loop. And then you can see here is our custom loop that we created, but it's actually showing some of our other posts that I have on this site. So we need to change it to show our team members. So if we come down here where it says query, we're going to change the source from posts to team members. And now we see our team members right here. So all we need to do now is click publish. And it's going to say, where do you want to display your template? Just click add condition. And we're going to click into this menu, or this drop down menu here, and we'll set it to team members archive and click save and close. Now if we come up here to the hamburger icon, we'll go back to Theme Builder, and now what we're going to do is create our single post page. So we'll click here on single post, click add new, and then Elementor will give us a preview or a library of templates. So we'll just X this out since we're going to create our own design from scratch. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and create our individual post page for each of our team members. So we'll start out by taking a container and dragging that onto our page. I'll set the direction of the container to be horizontal. Come up to the plus sign, take another container and drop that into the first one, and we'll duplicate it. Now in this right-hand column, we'll put the image of our team member right here. So we'll come up to the plus sign, take featured image, drop that in right here. And you can see it's automatically pulling in one of our previous posts. So we'll come up to the preview here and we'll go to preview settings, preview dynamic content as, and we'll say team member. And then we'll do a search for one of our team members, which will be Mehul. Click apply and preview. And there we have his featured image. Now we'll come up to the plus sign and we'll take the post title, drag that in, come up to the plus sign again. We'll take a heading widget and drop that in below his name. Where it says title, we have this little dynamic tags icon. We'll click on that, scroll all the way down to ACF field, click on ACF field, and then for key, we'll choose row. And then we'll click the plus sign again, and we'll take a text widget, or the text editor, drop that in below the title. Whoop, did that wrong. Let me delete that. There we go. We got the text editor, and we'll put it right below the title. And then we'll click on the dynamic tags icon for the text editor. Scroll down to ACF field, click on ACF field, and change the key to quote. And then I'm just going to adjust. I know I said I'm not going to do much design here, but I'm just going to modify the quote a little bit. Maybe, let's see. All right, so I think that looks fine for now. All right, and then we'll click on this container here and we'll center everything in the middle. Maybe turn his image down just a little bit, maybe something like that. And then we'll go ahead and give it maybe a light gray background color or something like that. That looks good. All right, so we have his name, title. We can turn the title down a little bit. I think we can go something like that. All right, and then down here, we'll make another container. And in this container, we'll put the post content. So we'll drop that in right here. And actually what I'll do, we'll set this container we'll set it to about maybe 760 pixels. Or no, maybe we'll do like 980. And then we'll set this container to 980 as well. All right, that looks good. And then here's the content for Mehul. We'll come up to the plus sign and we'll do a search for the image widget and we'll drop that in below. And then we'll click on this dynamic tags icon for the image, choose ACF image field, click on ACF, and for key, we'll choose signature. And then there's a signature, and we can actually adjust the size of his signature a little bit, make it a little smaller. I think that looks good. We could even maybe move his signature up a little bit so we can give it some negative margin. All right, so I think that looks good. Next thing we'll do is we'll put like a button right here with his LinkedIn profile. So we'll come up here, we'll search for a button, drop that in below the quote. We'll say view LinkedIn profile. And then right here where it says link, we'll click on the dynamic tags icon, scroll down to ACF URL field, click on ACF, and then we'll choose LinkedIn URL. And then we'll go to the style tab. Actually, go back to the content tab. For the icon, we'll set the icon to be the LinkedIn profile icon. So we'll use that one. Actually, we'll use that one right there. That looks good. And then we'll go to the style tab and we'll change the color maybe. Let's see. We'll actually change the color. We'll change the background color to white, and then we'll use like a bluish color for the font and the icon. And then we'll give it a border radius maybe of 12. We'll put a solid background on there. I think that looks good. Maybe adjust the typography a little bit. All right, I think that looks good for now. So we'll click publish, and it's going to say, where do you want to display your template? We'll say add condition, and then in here we'll choose team members, and it'll say save and close. Now if we go to our demo site, which is right here, dev.manzeri.com, we'll do team members, and you can see here's our team members right here that we just created. And if we click on any one of them, either on the picture or the name, it'll take us right to the template that we just created. And if we click view LinkedIn profile, it takes us right to that URL that we set up earlier. And if we click on Mehul, same thing. Here's his profile. And if we click on his URL, you can see up here in the address bar on our example site, it's taking us to his LinkedIn profile. And then for Michael, same thing. So everything looks like it's working as it should be. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, be sure to like it and subscribe for more videos like this.